Hey everybody, welcome back to Jeff Bull Central. I have had really full, exciting, entertaining, expressive, depressing, stressful, distressing August. Uh, I engaged in a new creative project. I recorded some new music, new album. I put a new album together, and I'm going to release that probably the first week of September around my birthday time. And that's good because I've come a long way, man. I 7 years ago I was uh, psychotic, and now I'm cranking out records basically when I feel like it. But I have schizoaffective disorder, bipolar type, so that technically I'm bipolar. But as a sufferer of mental illness, I've had a lot of lows in my life, like really bad lows, suicidal lows, even. Sorry, I don't want to trigger anybody, but low, okay. But I've never really had the high highs, the corresponding high highs that bipolar usually is known for, except for this month. I've never really gotten really manic over like a creative project. But this album, Bridges Burned, that's what I'm calling it. I threw myself into it, and I'm a little not scared, but conflicted, I guess, because I'm happy with the music, and I'm happy that I did something instead of sitting on my ass all month. But I threw myself into this so hard with so much energy. It kind of frightened me a little because I just have no filter with music. Like, I never learned to pace myself with it. Like, if I've got 10 songs, I've got to record 10 songs. I play all the instruments on these albums, except for the drums. I program those, but I still do that, right? So I'm responsible for all the music, all the guitar, the bass, the vocals, piano, percussion. So it's a lot of work, and that doesn't deter me. I obsess, and I shut out other things like taking care of myself. I stopped taking my medication properly during this period, and I stopped spending as much time with like my wife and my family, talking to them on the phone at least. Not that I was neglectful, but like I don't like that. I don't like that feeling of like high rush, just like adrenaline, just from recording a vocal track or whatever. I didn't like it. I would record a song and then re-record it, and then I would edit it and mix it and then remix it and remix it and remix it until I felt like it was right. And I'm happy that I have something to show for it. Maybe you can relate if you're a creative person. If you have mental illness, in my experience, I don't quote me on this because I don't have any like statistics or anything to back it up, but like in my experience, and I've known a lot of creative people in my life. We creative people tend to have some kind of neuroses or a mental illness, or just some subtle dysfunction here and there. Not to call names. Like, I'm one of you. Like, I became so dysfunctional because of my mental illness that I can't do much other than now creative projects. I've come a long way. 7 years ago, I was psychotic. And while I still have psychotic symptoms every day, I'm clearer. Like 7 years later, I'm clearer, and I can't say I won't have a relapse. I can't say I'll never have another psychotic episode. I might. I maybe will, but like, it's good news. If you are a schizophrenic, or you're having a hard time like so many people are, mentally, emotionally, there's light at the end of the tunnel. There's always light at the end of the tunnel. Never it's a trick your mind plays on you, man, to make you think it's never going to get better. It gets better. It always gets better. Sometimes it gets better, then it gets worse, then it gets better, then it gets worse. That's life, you know. No one guarantees anything except maybe a roller coaster ride, right? At which point, at the end of which you die. That's life. So you know, and I'm a writer, and somehow over the years of being a writer, I've learned to pace myself, probably out of necessity, because when you're writing a book, I find that if I obsess over it and I work too hard, I burn out and I don't finish the book a lot of the time. So I learned to pace myself, but not so with music. I get it's too much. It's too much. So I guess if there's a theme or a message of this video, such as it is, perhaps if you are a creative individual and you want to create something, piece of art, piece of writing, piece of music, piece of dance, piece of theater, creative work on the internet of any kind, if you're suffering from some kind of episode of whatever special cocktail you've got, try not to throw yourself into it. If there's any doubt, try to learn to pace yourself. Set limits, because this mania stuff, I don't have a lot of experience with these really high highs. I don't know why it struck me so hard. Like I said, I threw everything at this record. I became obsessed. I became someone else, not in a negative way, but not quite myself. And the real downside is not the mania; it's the corresponding low. That's what bipolar is. So now that the project is over and the album is done, and I don't have really much else to do with it or on it but release it. And so now I'm starting to suffer from the depressive symptoms. Like, what do I do? Like, what do I do with myself now? I'm going to be bored now. Or it even goes deeper. It's like I'm worthless somehow. Somehow it's just the correspondence. It's just the high corresponds to the low, unfortunately. And like, your mind is a trick. I mean, your mind doesn't just play tricks on you. It's a trick. Again, not always in a negative way, but especially for depressed people or anxious people, bipolar people, schizophrenic people, whatever. It's a trick. Like, you can't trust it. If you can just, and maybe this is why I've actually learned. I've gained some recovery time for myself. If you can learn to put a gap between the depressed thoughts, the anxious thoughts, the crazy thoughts. I don't want to use crazy, I mean, to trigger anybody again, and put a gap between your actual observance of the craziness, and see if you can, like, just distance yourself. Just put something there. Put a block there. Garrison a unit of troops. I'm playing Age of Empires 4 right now. So I'm thinking about garrisoning troops. But garrison a unit of troops between those two things, between the thought that's weird or out of place, if you can recognize it. It's not easy. Trust me, I know. And the observance of such a thought, or a series of thoughts, or mode of thinking, or way of being, or way of living that is not optimal for you, that is not working for you. You may find that by opening up that distance, and I'll tell you, the best way to do that is to totally objectify and, I hate to say this, but villainize it. Make it the bad guy. Don't say I'm the bad guy. Say, God, these depressed thoughts, they're not me. They're the bad guy. I don't have to listen to them. I don't have to listen to them. But that's so easier said than done, man, because it's just sometimes it possesses your entire experience, your senses, your mind, your feelings, your body. I'm happy that I made something I'm proud of, something I stand behind. But I'm not happy that it was so overwhelming, and now that I have to deal with this depression. And I'm a pro at dealing with depression, but it's still hard. It still hurts, you know? So don't worry about me. Like, I'm fine. But just know that I just wanted to vlog about it. Just kind of report my experience with this. You know, most of the work was done in 2 or 3 weeks, which is really intense for me. 10 songs, handling all the instruments, all the singing. So, I guess that's it. I guess that's all I got to say. I hope everybody's doing well out there. I know it's really tough times. I know a lot of people are really sad and angry and depressed and worried and scared. And I think it's important that we stay communicative, honest. None of this works if you can't be honest with yourself and with other people, provided you're not hurting them, if that's your thing. Like this video if you did. Subscribe to my channel if you want to. Hit the notification bell if you want to be notified. Please do check out my album when it comes out here at the beginning of September. It's called Bridges Burned, audio file. That's me. There's several audio files on the internet. I found that out, but I'm Jeff Bowles. Audio file. That's my music. You can find all my music on my YouTube channel. It became a commercial. I'm sorry about that. Just been on my mind a lot. Just obsessing about it. But, yeah. Please be well. Please treat each other well. Peace.